The rain pounded against the windows like it was trying to break in. I never thought staying one night at my best friend Jordan's house would flip my entire life upside down. But there I was, Asher Thompson, 24 years old, soaked from the storm that had flooded my apartment building, standing in the hallway of the family home in suburban Chicago as Gabriel, Jordan's older brother, looked at me with eyes that held secrets I wasn't ready for. "Hey man, Jordan's already crashed. Long day at the hospital," Gabriel said, his voice low and steady. At 28, he had that quiet intensity that always made rooms feel smaller. He was taller than me, with dark hair and the kind of build that came from years of running track in college and now working as an architect. "You can take the guest room. Or if you want, the couch is free." I laughed it off, shaking water from my hair. "Guest room sounds good. Thanks for letting me crash, Gabriel. I owe you one." We chatted for a bit in the kitchen over coffee that was too strong. Jordan was my best friend since college, the guy who always had my back through bad breakups and career doubts. His family had always been welcoming, though I knew his parents were traditional. Gabriel had moved back home temporarily after a bad breakup of his own, or so Jordan had told me. I didn't know much about Gabriel's personal life. He kept things private. As the night wore on, Jordan was snoring in his room upstairs. The storm showed no signs of stopping. Gabriel and I ended up in the living room, talking about everything and nothing. Work stress, my dead-end job at the marketing firm, his latest project designing a community center. Then the conversation turned deeper. "You ever feel like you're living someone else's life?" Gabriel asked suddenly, staring into his mug. I paused. "Sometimes." "Why?" He set the mug down. His hands were trembling slightly. "Asher, there's something I've needed to tell someone for a long time. And tonight, with you here, it feels like the moment." My heart picked up pace. "What is it?" Gabriel looked straight at me. "I'm gay. And I've been in love with you for 3 years." The words hung in the air like the thunder outside. I froze, coffee cup halfway to my mouth. This couldn't be happening. Gabriel, the straight-laced older brother, in love with me? I didn't know what to say. My mind raced through 1,000 thoughts. Jordan, his parents, my own life. The way my chest suddenly felt tight, not just from shock, but from something else I didn't want to name yet. "Gabriel, I don't know what to say," I stammered. "You don't have to say anything tonight," he replied softly. "Just know that seeing you all these years and staying silent has been killing me." Tonight changed that. The storm raged on, but inside me a different kind of storm had just begun. I sat there for what felt like hours, the clock ticking loudly on the wall. Gabriel didn't push. He simply stood up, gave me a small, sad smile, and headed to his room. "Sleep on it, Asher. No pressure." But sleep was impossible. I tossed in the guest bed, replaying every interaction we'd ever had. The family barbecues where he'd always saved me the last burger. The times he'd driven me home after late nights with Jordan. Was there always something more? And why did the idea not feel completely foreign? I dated girls in college, sure, but those relationships had fizzled because something always felt missing. A connection deeper than I could explain. By the time the rain eased to a drizzle around 3 in the morning, I was staring at the ceiling, heart pounding with questions I had no answers for. This wasn't just Gabriel's secret anymore. It had cracked open something in me too. Morning came too soon. The smell of bacon pulled me downstairs. Jordan was flipping pancakes, humming some old rock song, completely unaware. "Morning, bro. Storm wrecked your place bad." "Huh? Stay as long as you need." Gabriel was already at the table, nursing a mug of coffee, looking like he hadn't slept either. Our eyes met briefly. I looked away fast, grabbing a plate. The air felt thick with everything unsaid. Jordan chatted about work, his latest patient stories from the ER, but I could barely focus. Every laugh from him felt like a reminder of the line I might cross if I wasn't careful. After breakfast, Jordan headed out for a quick grocery run. You two entertain yourselves. Don't burn the house down." He winked and left. The door clicked shut, and silence settled heavy between Gabriel and me. He cleared his throat. "About last night. I haven't stopped thinking about it," I admitted, surprising myself with the honesty. We stepped out to the backyard, the wet grass soaking my sneakers. The suburban neighborhood stretched quiet under gray skies, kids' bikes abandoned on driveways. Gabriel leaned against the fence. "I didn't plan to dump that on you, but holding it in was destroying me. Every time Jordan brought you around, it was like torture and the best part of my week all at once." I rubbed the back of my neck, feeling the weight of his words. "Gabriel, I'm not sure what I am. I've never thought about guys that way. Or maybe I have and just buried it. Society, family, all that noise makes it hard to even admit." He nodded, eyes soft. "I get it. My parents are old-school Catholic. Dad still asks when I'm bringing home a nice girl. Coming out felt impossible until now." We talked for nearly an hour, voices low. He shared stories of college parties where he'd felt out of place, the therapy sessions he'd started in secret. I listened, and for the first time I saw the man behind the brother label. Strong yet vulnerable. When Jordan's car pulled back in, we switched to small talk about the weather. But the shift had happened. A door had opened, and neither of us could close it. That afternoon, as I packed to head back to my drying apartment, Gabriel slipped me a note with his number. "Text if you want to talk more. No expectations." I pocketed it, the paper burning against my palm. Driving home through Chicago traffic, the city lights blurring, I wondered how one night could rewrite everything I thought I knew about myself. Friendship, family, identity, all of it suddenly felt fragile. And the scariest part? Part of me didn't want to go back to how things were before. I barely slept the next few nights. My apartment still smelled like damp drywall from the flood repairs. But the real mess was in my head. Gabriel's confession looped endlessly. I'd catch myself staring at the note on my nightstand, thumbing the edges until the ink smudged. Jordan texted daily, checking if I was okay, sending memes like nothing had changed. How could I tell him his brother had upended my world? Work at the marketing firm dragged. I stared at campaign briefs for energy drinks, but all I saw was Gabriel's face that night. The way his voice had cracked just a little when he said the words. By Wednesday, I couldn't take it. I texted him. "Coffee tomorrow? Neutral ground." His reply came fast. "Park Cafe at noon. Looking forward to it." The cafe sat on a tree-lined street in downtown Chicago, sunlight filtering through the leaves. I arrived early, nerves buzzing. Gabriel showed up in a button-down and jeans, hair still damp from a shower. He looked relieved to see me. "Thanks for coming," he said as we ordered lattes. We found a corner table away from the crowd. I stirred my drink longer than necessary. "I've been thinking nonstop. About what you said. About me." He waited, patient as always. "I don't have labels yet," I continued. "But talking to you felt real. Like I could breathe." Growing up in a small town outside the city, my folks always pushed the normal path: college, girlfriend, white picket fence. I dated girls, but it never clicked deep down. Maybe I was ignoring something. Gabriel leaned in. "That's brave to admit, Asher. For me, it started in high school. Locker room stares that scared me. I dated women to fit in, but it felt like lying to everyone, including myself. Moving back home was supposed to be temporary, but then you kept coming around with Jordan. It made the hiding worse. We talked for 2 hours. He told me about the pressure from his dad, a retired cop who valued toughness. I shared my own fears, losing Jordan's friendship, facing awkward family holidays, the stares at work if word got out. By the end, he reached across the table and squeezed my hand once, quick and reassuring. The touch sent a spark through me I couldn't deny. Jordan called that evening. "Dude, you free this weekend? Family dinner at my place." Mom's making her famous lasagna. My stomach twisted. Yeah, count me in. Hanging up. I wondered how I'd sit across from Gabriel with this new secret between us. The weekend arrived with clear skies and my racing pulse. Jordan's parents greeted me warmly at the door, his mom hugging me like always. Asher, you look like you need feeding. Dinner was loud with stories and laughter. Gabriel sat across from me, passing the salad bowl with a small smile only I understood. Later, while Jordan helped his dad with dishes, Gabriel and I stepped onto the back porch. This is harder than I thought, he whispered. Seeing you here, pretending. I nodded. Me too. But I don't regret knowing. That night, back home, I lay awake replaying the hand squeeze from the cafe. For the first time, the idea of exploring whatever this was didn't scare me as much as losing it did. But the guilt lingered. Jordan was like a brother. How long could I keep this from him? The next week brought more secret coffee meets. Each one peeled back another layer. Gabriel opened up about his past relationship that ended because he couldn't be fully honest. I admitted small moments from my life. A college roommate I'd felt oddly drawn to, quickly dismissed. The conversations built a bridge, fragile but real. One evening, as we walked along the lakefront path after dark, Gabriel stopped. Asher, I don't expect anything. But if you're feeling even a fraction of what I am. I didn't let him finish. Instead, I pulled him into a hug. It was awkward at first, then warm, his arms solid around me. No words, just the sound of waves and my heart finally settling. In that moment, the world narrowed to us two men standing on the edge of something new. But as I drove home, Jordan's face flashed in my mind. The friendship we built over years. One hug didn't erase the fear of what came next. The secret meetings became my new normal. Every Thursday after work, I'd meet Gabriel at a different cafe or park bench across Chicago. We'd talk for hours about everything. Dreams, fears, the little things that made us laugh. He told me about sketching building designs late at night when the house was quiet, how architecture felt like building a future he could control. I shared my frustrations at the firm, how creating ad campaigns for products I didn't believe in left me empty. With him, I felt seen in a way no one else had managed. One afternoon in early October, leaves crunching underfoot in Lincoln Park, Gabriel opened up more. My parents suspect something's off with me. Dad keeps dropping hints about settling down. Mom asks if I'm dating. I hate lying, Asher. But coming out to them could break the family. I squeezed his shoulder. You're not alone in that. My folks back in Indiana would flip. They still send me church bulletins in the mail. We laughed, but the tension was real. Society's expectations pressed in from every side. Billboards with happy straight couples. Office small talk about girlfriends. Being different felt like walking a tightrope. That weekend, Jordan invited me to a Bears game. Tailgating with his buddies, beer in hand, he slapped my back. You seem different lately, man. Happier. New girl. I forced a grin. Nah, just work stuff. The lie tasted bitter. Gabriel was at the game too, sitting a few rows away with family friends. Our eyes met once across the crowd. A secret nod. The thrill mixed with shame. Work suffered next. I missed a deadline, lost in thought about Gabriel's laugh. My boss pulled me aside. Asher, everything okay at home? I nodded, but inside I was unraveling. The identity questions grew louder. Was I gay? Bisexual? Did it even matter, or was it just about him? Gabriel noticed my distraction during our next walk along the river. Talk to me. I feel guilty hiding from Jordan. He's my best friend. And your brother. He stopped, turning to face me. I know. Every day I wonder if I'm being selfish. But meeting you like this, it's the first time I've felt alive in years. We stood there as joggers passed, the city humming around us. Then he opened his arms. The hug lasted longer this time, his chin resting on my shoulder. I breathed him in clean soap and faint cologne. No rush, no pressure. Just comfort. When we pulled apart, his eyes shone with quiet hope. Whatever you decide, I'm here. Days blurred. I started journaling late at night, sorting the chaos in my head. One entry read, "What if this is who I am? What if losing Jordan is the price?" The thought terrified me, but so did going back to pretending. A misunderstanding arose when Jordan saw me leaving a cafe near Gabriel's office. He texted, "Saw you downtown. Secret lunch date." I replied vaguely, heart hammering. The lie grew heavier. Gabriel and I met again that Friday evening. Over Thai takeout in his car parked by the lake, he shared more. "I almost told Jordan last year. Chickened out. Seeing you now makes me want to be braver." I reached for his hand. "Me too." Slowly, the touch grounded me. As the sun set over the water, painting the skyline gold, I felt the first real spark of acceptance. This wasn't just a crush or confusion. It was connection, real and worth exploring. But the rising tension with Jordan loomed. He called Sunday, voice casual but probing. "Dude, you've been distant. Everything cool?" I assured him it was, but the call ended with me staring at the phone, wondering how much longer I could balance two worlds. The emotional weight pressed harder each day. At a work happy hour, colleagues joked about dating apps. I smiled along, but inside I ached for the honesty Gabriel offered. One night, alone in my apartment, I cried for the boy I'd been, the one who'd hidden parts of himself without even knowing. Gabriel's love had unlocked that door. Now I had to decide whether to walk through or slam it shut. Family dinner at Jordan's house arrived like a storm cloud. His parents had returned from their lake trip, the table set with the usual spread of roast chicken and mashed potatoes. I arrived with a bottle of wine, forcing cheer. Gabriel was already there, helping his mom in the kitchen. Our eyes met over the counter. A silent hello that carried everything unsaid. Jordan pulled me aside before we sat. "You good, man? You've been weird since the flood." "Girl trouble." His concern was genuine, making the guilt sharper. "No, just tired." I lied again. Dinner conversation flowed around work and sports until his dad turned to Gabriel. "Son, when are you going to find a nice girl and settle down? Your mother and I aren't getting younger." The words landed like bricks. Gabriel's fork paused. "Dad, it's not that simple." His mom chimed in gently. "We just want you happy, honey." I stared at my plate, pulse racing. The pressure was palpable, the same expectations I'd grown up with. After dinner, while Jordan and his dad watched football, Gabriel and I washed dishes. "That was close," he whispered. "Every time they ask, I feel smaller." We stole a moment in the hallway later. "Asher, this hiding is eating me alive. But I can't lose my family. Or Jordan." His voice broke. I pulled him into a quick hug, the risk high but necessary. His warmth steadied me. The misunderstanding exploded the next day. Jordan cornered me at a coffee shop near his hospital. "I saw you and Gabriel at the park last week. What's going on? You two hanging out behind my back?" His tone was half joking, half hurt. My mouth went dry. "Just talking, man. He's been helping with some work stuff." The partial truth stung. Jordan frowned. "Okay, but it feels off. You're my brother from another mother. Don't shut me out." I nodded, but the seed of doubt was planted. That night, Gabriel called. Jordan asked me about it too. I covered, but this is getting dangerous. We talked for an hour, voices low. He suggested slowing down the meets. I agreed, but the ache in my chest said otherwise. Work became a battlefield of distraction. A big presentation loomed, but my mind wandered to Gabriel's stories of his own coming out fears. One colleague noticed, "Asher, you're miles away. Everything all right at home?" I brushed it off, but inside, the identity crisis deepened. Was I ready to face the world as someone who loved a man? My own family called from Indiana that weekend. Mom's voice bright. Honey, any special girl yet? Thanksgiving's coming. The question hit like a punch. I mumbled something vague and hung up, then texted Gabriel. Need to see you. We met at a quiet bench by the lake again. The wind whipped leaves around us. I can't keep pretending with everyone, I said. But telling Jordan could destroy everything. Gabriel took my hand openly this time. I know the risk. My parents' disappointment, his anger. But what if this is our chance to live honestly? His eyes held mine, full of quiet strength. We sat in silence, the city buzzing distant. The hug that followed felt like a promise, and a warning of the storm ahead. Jordan's texts grew concerned. Miss hanging out, just us. Beers this week. I scheduled it, but dread built. At the bar, he probed again. Seriously, dude, something's up. You can tell me. I changed the subject to football, but the lie weighed tons. Gabriel and I shared more late calls. He described the loneliness of his 20s, dating women while knowing the truth. I confessed similar buried feelings from youth. Each conversation wove us closer. Yet the family and friend pressures mounted. His dad scheduled a man-to-man talk about career and life choices. Mine sent more church emails. The tension peaked when Jordan saw us leaving a cafe together from across the street. He didn't confront, but his text later said, "Saw you with Gabriel again." Weird vibe. Misunderstanding festered. I felt torn between loyalty to my oldest friend and the growing truth in my heart. Gabriel offered to step back. If it's too much, I understand. But his voice said he didn't want to. That night, alone, I realized the stakes. This wasn't just attraction. It was love building quietly. And love, I'd learned, demanded choices. Hard ones. The emotional journey had only just begun. The crisis hit on a rainy Tuesday. Jordan showed up at my apartment unannounced, soaked and furious. I know something's going on with you and Gabriel. He won't talk, but I pieced it together. Late nights, secret meets. What the hell, Asher? His voice cracked with betrayal. I froze in the doorway. Jordan, it's not what you think, but it was. I invited him in, the words tumbling out. Your brother told me he's gay. Has feelings for me. We've been talking. I'm figuring things out too. Jordan paced, hands in his hair. My brother? And you? After all these years? You hid this from me. The hurt in his eyes cut deep. I thought we were family. He left, slamming the door, the sound echoing like a final break. I called Gabriel immediately. His voice was steady but pained. He confronted me too. Said he feels like we both stabbed him in the back. We met at his place that night, the house empty. Gabriel looked exhausted. This is my fault. I dragged you into my mess. No, I insisted. It's ours now. We sat on the couch, shoulders touching. The conversation stretched into the early hours. He spoke of sacrifice. Maybe I should move out. Give you and Jordan space. Find a job in another city. The offer hung heavy. I saw the love in his eyes, the willingness to lose everything for my peace. Tears stung mine. Don't. Please. I can't lose you either. The admission shocked us both. In that moment, the depth of my feelings crystallized. This man had awakened parts of me I'd ignored. Family approval, friendship, they mattered, but so did living true. The next days blurred with pain. Jordan ignored my calls. His parents sensed the rift, asking questions I dodged. Work suffered. I fumbled a client meeting, mind elsewhere. Gabriel texted daily, checking in without pressure. I'm here if you need to talk. No expectations. His support was a lifeline. One evening, I drove to the lake alone, sitting on the same bench. Memories flooded. The hug, the confessions, the quiet joy. Sacrifice felt too high a price. I realized I'd been running from myself longer than from others. Gabriel's courage had shown me the way. I texted Jordan, "Can we meet? I owe you the truth." He agreed reluctantly. At a neutral diner, I laid it bare. I care about Gabriel. Deeply. This isn't a phase. It's real. And it doesn't change how much I value our friendship. Jordan listened, face hard. It hurts, man. But I see you're serious. He didn't forgive fully, but he didn't walk away. Small progress. Gabriel and I met afterward. He offered again to leave town. If it fixes things with my brother, I'll do it. His selflessness broke me. I pulled him close. No more running. We faced this together. The embrace lingered, emotional walls crumbling. The psychological toll showed. Sleepless nights, anxiety spikes, but also clarity. I quit the unfulfilling job that week, applying for freelance design work that let me breathe. Gabriel supported every step. The crisis had forced awakening. Love wasn't easy, but it was worth the fight. Jordan slowly thawed over texts. This is weird, but you're still my guy. The bridge wasn't burned. Gabriel's parents noticed the family tension but stayed quiet for now. Societal stares at a coffee shop where we sat close didn't faze us as much. The sacrifice attempt had revealed our strength. Gabriel had been ready to give up everything. I had chosen honesty. Now, as winter approached, hope flickered. The emotional journey had tested us, but it hadn't broken us. Winter settled over Chicago with soft snow, blanketing the suburbs in quiet white. Jordan and I grabbed beers one Friday, the conversation careful but healing. It's still weird thinking about you and my brother, he admitted. But seeing how happy he looks, I get it. His acceptance wasn't total, but it was a start. We toasted to friendship that could bend without breaking. Gabriel and I walked the snowy park where our secret had first deepened. Trees sparkled with lights. I almost lost everything, he said. But you chose us. His hand found mine openly this time. The gesture felt freeing. No more hiding in shadows. Over the holidays, we navigated family carefully. His parents sensed the shift but focused on warmth instead of questions. My folks video called and I introduced Gabriel as a close friend. Small steps toward truth. Society's pressures lingered. Awkward glances at gatherings, whispers at work events. But they lost power against the joy we built. I started therapy, unpacking years of buried identity. Gabriel cheered every breakthrough. We volunteered together at a community center he designed, helping LGBTQ youth. The work gave purpose, turning personal struggle into something larger. One crisp January morning, we stood on the lakefront again. Gabriel turned to me. Asher, whatever comes, family, friends, the world, I'm in this with you. I kissed his cheek softly, the first public sign of affection. Felt right. Natural. Months passed in growth. I launched my own design studio, inspired by Gabriel's passion for creation. He took a promotion designing inclusive spaces. Jordan joined us for game nights, the awkwardness fading into normalcy. The bonds strengthened through honesty. Looking back, that stormy night had been the catalyst. A simple overnight stay had forced choices, confrontations with self, misunderstandings with loved ones, sacrifices considered and rejected. The psychological consequences shaped us. Resilience, empathy, courage. We emerged stronger, our love a quiet revolution against old fears. As spring bloomed and we planned a small trip to the Michigan dunes, I reflected on the journey. True love had demanded risk, but the reward was a life lived fully. True or false? True love always demands sacrificing the friendships that shaped you.